Hello, I'm Mario Toneguzzi, co-editor-in-chief of Retail Insider. Joining me today is Monica Walker, who is head of food and grocery at Healthy Planet. Thanks, Monica, for taking a few minutes here today.
Thank you. Nice to be here.
Okay, let me ask you about some of the trends that you're seeing and Healthy Planet is seeing out there when it comes to nutritious snacks and micro meals, kind of replacing bigger meals in the diet of Canadians. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, I mean, we're definitely seeing that at store level and overall. I think time's always been a factor, on everybody's mind. Um, people are always looking at how to be able to provide healthy meals, new term micro meals that don't take too much time to cook, nor do they take too much time maybe to eat. And, depending on how we look at it, I think people are just looking at a healthier options. There's some people have been doing that for years, and other people have been, really bringing it on in the last sort of 3, 4 years. And the idea of a micro meal that maybe, we've got poke bowls out there, we've got, hummus and dip out there. People are much more aware of the options and there's a lot more options available, so people can literally build on that initial nutritious sort of snack to build a meal rather than a home-based, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So it's definitely a lot more people are moving towards that trend.
Now, when you're looking at some of the healthier options, let's take this from two different angles. Number one is cost. Obviously, if I'm taking like a power bar as a nutritious bar, that could maybe satisfy me, for a rather than having a full lunch, right? And in the sense that I'm getting what I need. Do you think a lot of that is replacing people who are busy like these days, like don't have time to sit down? And so guess what?
Well, I think I do, but I'd even pick up on that. I think what people thought was good enough before that, the protein bar, the protein, that's not what they're looking at. So people are really, that was maybe what people thought was a
Yeah.
healthy snack before Mario, but now they're not thinking that's good enough at all because that's a high in sugar
Okay.
protein bar. People are moving away from that to really building little micro meals. So something like a yogurt with a topper and then some fruit. So
Okay.
snacks that you might have given your kids and you might not have thought it for yourself, people are thinking, well, that's a way for me to live too. And there's way more options. So move away from the high sugar bars because people are really reading those labels and thinking, I thought that was healthy because it said granola bar. Now I know that's high in sugar. I'm actually going to make myself a little mini meal that covers all of the food groups. So I'm going to put some protein in there, which could come from nuts or seeds. I'm going to put some, or yogurt, let's say. I'm going to maybe add in some veggies. Now I'm going to make that bright colors. I'm going to add in, maybe a little bit more fiber. So, and, uh, healthier options there. So they really are building these smaller meals, not just a protein bar snack grab and go, and moving forward. Maybe they'll add the protein bar snack and go, grab and go on top of that. But
Yeah.
people are building these meals, and with that in mind, they're going more to food prep. So they're looking at the way they actually look at food. They're looking at a cost because a granola bar might actually at 4.99, or a protein bar at 4.99, maybe not granola. They can literally go and buy a couple of pieces of fruit, get some veggies, maybe get some hummus. That's going to be $4, $5. So people are looking at the cost, realizing the proper food, not just a grab and go snack. Maybe they'll add the protein bar on top if they want to actually spend that money. And then in addition, what we're looking at and what we're seeing is that people are really thinking about the drinks part of this micro meal approach. What might have just been a pop out of the fridge now is definitely going to be a low sugar soda. It's not going to be, or maybe I'm just going to drink water these days because that doesn't really cost me any money, does it?
Yeah.
So cost is driving it. How they put the meal together, as in they're really broadening the aspect of what they put in that meal. It's not just a granola slash protein bar, and then they're adding in their drink. So I think the term micro meal is really key here.
So how do they, the world of nutrition is it can be confusing out there. And how does one, an average person like myself navigate that? And what do you have, say, at Healthy Planet in store to help someone like me who may be a novice or maybe not that well educated?
Well, you say that it's really not that hard. I wouldn't say. I mean, but it does seem a little overwhelming. What we've got is shops that sell food. Maybe the food that's being sold by certain shops wasn't as nutritious as we all thought. So the very first thing is, okay, people are just more aware of the labels like high sugar, um, seed oils. I'm supposed to get more protein. What does that mean? All the rest of it. So, but really, the same food is available. It's just healthier. So, what it's all about, what we got to look at is people understand the idea of balance. Okay. And then maybe fueling body without, you don't have to give up your favorite cravings anymore. You can have healthier chips that have less sodium. You can have healthier pop, like I say, that has no sugar. But then they're looking at the idea of eating proper food again. So protein, we all eat protein. Maybe it used to be red meat. Now you can go to lighter meat and fish. Um, if you then want to have more veggies, you go for more veggies. You've got all of those options on veggies. Just keep it simple. Bright colors are best. Okay.
Hmm.
And then thirdly, maybe I want to do a little bit of this diet keto, or I want, high protein diet, whatever. So that's more about balance and portions. And maybe you don't want to eat a load of pasta with that, but you've now got an option to go sourdough pasta, or you've got an option to go maybe gluten free. So the stuff that maybe, or lower sugar, or a protein pasta. So it's about options. And the Healthy Planet just literally is a food store, a one-stop food shop that offers exactly the same as what a conventional store would offer, but it's clean, it's generally organic, it's all natural, it's front and center Canadian. And then I give you options of really clean, low sugar, low sodium options. So it's going to be heart healthy, it's going to be good for you. Yeah. But
Yeah.
it's a one-stop shop grocery store. You walk in, you can get exactly what you could get in a conventional store, different brands. Yeah. But just much better for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then what I would recommend is you read the labels. Don't just read the label for calories, but read the labels for sugar levels, sodium levels, and maybe how much protein is in something. I think that's the one of the latest things people want to add protein to their diet.
Yeah. Now with
Does
the
that make sense?
it sure does. Yeah. So with more people, doing micro meals and such, uh, how does that change in any way you yourself as a food store and what you carry and what you will be carrying?
I mean, it does change, and that's really what we pride ourselves as a Healthy Planet. We look as category managers, as buyers of food, and someone leading the forefront. We look at the data out there. We look at, I mean, we use the US for quite a lot for what's maybe the trends coming up. So what's coming up now? We're looking really to Europe, but we've got lots of Canadian brands. So Canadian first and foremost, what's coming through? What are the trends? So lots of mushrooms are coming out. Lots of all of those things that could help us be healthy, but from a natural way. So everyone knows mushrooms are good for you. There's lots of, mood enhancers. There's things that make us feel better, things that really help us be better, like turmeric, mushrooms, um, teas, all of those things, natural herbs, those added to foods obviously enhance the food rather than putting any artificial chemicals in them. That's what we've always been about. That's what any health food has been about. And then what we will do is, as people are gravitating towards these smaller meals, we'll probably put, more grab and go fridges in the store. We'll build bigger sections for
Yeah.
healthier pop. We build the store to match how the customer wants to buy. We ensure that the store has more than 75% Canadian product. I'll not take every American product out just because of what's happening sort of in
Yeah.
the world, because the US has been one of the forefront of leading. But certainly for the Healthy Planet and myself, I mean, with my accent, I'm a Brit, and local to me is 30 miles because we have a very small country.
Yeah.
Been here 25 years, but I'm trying to get Ontario-led brands. I'm trying to get definitely Canadian-led brands before any other. And maybe now I might touch on more European than the US because that's the way forward. But Bob's Red Mill is going to stay because and a lot of product is actually made with Canadian grains and seeds and lentils and pulses. Saskatchewan and places really lead the way on that. Manitoba for Manitoba Harvest of flax seeds. We have fabulous Canadian growers that we will always partner with to push things forward. But yeah, we do adjust, and our new stores opening will be adjusted accordingly as to how much product in different areas is in the store based on the trends moving forward. So you'll see more grab and go fridges, micro meals, sort of already half made, and then people just have to add their options. That's what people like doing. They like cooking, but maybe not really from scratch.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, thanks so much, Monica, for taking a few minutes here to talk about this trend.
Okay, that's great. Thank you very much for taking the time as well.
Oh,
Looking forward to it.
okay, thank you. That was Monica Walker, who is head of food and grocery for Healthy Planet. I'm Mario Toneguzzi. Thanks for joining us today.